People have moved to Canada for a long, long time. People have come from all over the world, and immigration has largely worked out pretty well for this country. But certainly in the past few years, a lot of people have been raising concerns. It seems that we've certainly allowed too many people in without making sure that our country can actually accommodate the newcomers. So today we're going to do a deep dive on immigration. Michael Bonner has written a new report for the Aristotle Foundation called Repairing the Fray, Improving Immigration and Citizenship Policy in Canada. So we're excited to sit down and talk with Michael. He's a senior fellow with the Aristotle Foundation. Michael, thanks for taking a few minutes to chat with us today about Canada's immigration woes. I wonder if maybe we could start off by just the big picture question. How serious is this problem in Canada right now?
Thanks for inviting me, Colin. The premise of the study that I wrote was to answer the question, what was it that caused the breakdown in public confidence in our immigration system? This has been borne out by poll after poll, and it's beyond doubt at this point that something has gone wrong. What went wrong
Mm-hmm.
then? Well, we have a question of sheer numbers, just an unprecedented in numbers of immigrants that we have not seen since the early 20th century, combined with a question of skill level and wage level. Both of those are far too low to create the sort of economic benefit that our immigration system used to produce. The upshot is that there are both very severe cultural problems concerning questions of integration and economic
Mm-hmm.
problems uh, concerning wages in general throughout the economy, and the what could be considered the importation of poverty, in fact, because the skill and wage level are too low.
So let's talk about numbers for a second. If we go back, because it seems like, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like this problem was really exacerbated in the last maybe 2, 3, 4 years. So if we go back before that period, say 5, 10 years ago, how many people per year were we letting in versus say how many people were you let in last year?
Well, the gold standard was set by the Harper government, which allowed in had set a permanent resident target. We should be clear; we're talking about permanent residents of around
Okay.
200 to 250,000 every year. That worked well
Hmm.
because the standard of wage and skill were both very high. That was a net gain for the economy as a whole, and the number overall was a manageable one for questions of integration and job creation, housing, infrastructure, and all the rest of it. What has happened in more recent years is that the number has vastly increased, both of permanent residents and of the non-permanent form of immigration, in terms of the temporary foreign worker program and the international mobility program, which have had the effect of depressing wages, creating a sort of stagnancy within the economy. There is a sense of there is some economic growth. The GDP has indeed gone up slightly, but per capita it has gone down because of the high number of newcomers, and that is the root of the problem.
Let's talk about that. We've only got about a minute left, but my understanding is we used to have this point system. Basically, the government would award points to people if you had the skills that Canada needed. If we say had a lack of electricians or doctors or whatever, then people would get a lot of points in their application to come here, and we would attract those immigrants that we need. Um, is that system all gone now?
The point system has unfortunately been adjusted so that the standards are now much lower in order to accommodate a higher number
Mm.
of newcomers. The higher the threshold of the point system, it stands to reason, the more selective it will be throughout the world, and it will be choosing people at a higher, rarer skill and wage level. That's been thrown out of whack, and that's where a future government should work on changing things.
Mm. It certainly seems like things have gone in the wrong direction if we've certainly allowed a lot of people in that aren't high on that level in terms of the point system. We've let in too many, and then now just the appeal of moving here seems to have eroded, just given that it's so costly to get a house and there's other problems in this country. When we come back, we're going to continue to unpack Canada's immigration woes.